The Seattle Mariners did make a move yesterday. I guess they might make a move over the course of the next 3 hours before the trade deadline. More on that in a moment. Let's talk about who they got yesterday. Diego Castillo. That is the man that they will be replacing Kendall Graveman with. They traded a minor league prospect. They traded J.G. Chargois, whose name I always struggle to pronounce because I see it and I feel like it should be pronounced like a Frenchman. Whatever the case, that's the trade. It's a trade made with the Tampa Bay Rays. Diego Castillo is younger than Kendall Graveman, 27 years old. He's under club control for 3 more years, though you will have to go to arbitration with him each of the next 3 years. That's why the Rays likely moved on from him. They are cheapos, but they are wise cheapos in their defense. He's got some impressive numbers of late. He's got some impressive numbers this season, the last couple of seasons, and in the postseason. And supposedly, he's got some filthy stuff, specifically a slider that's got a miss rate of about 40% when guys swing at it. So it sounds fantastic, doesn't it? I mean, you look at that at face value. Isn't that better than Kendall Graveman? You have him for the next couple of years. And while Kendall Graveman did pitch very well this season, this is a guy that is younger and you feel like maybe can continue to improve, right? So the question of today's show, is Diego Castillo going to be better for the Mariners than Kendall Graveman? And whether you answer yes or no, explain your answer afterwards. I am cautiously optimistic. I am not brave enough to say yes. Perhaps this makes me a bad sports talk show host, but I am a little nervous about this. First off, year to year, I do think it's difficult to predict a reliever. And while you traded for a reliever that you have under control for the next couple of seasons, Diego Castillo has been a plus reliever in baseball since 2018. Is that going to continue? Because we do see, from time to time, relievers, great ones, fall off a cliff. There are some who are great for their entire career, Mariano Rivera, Trevor Hoffman, but there are others who are like a supernova or a collapsing star. They shine bright, then all of a sudden, I'm sorry, I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it all goes away. What I will say, though, is that this is a guy who has shown that he can pitch, okay, but he's been doing it for a while. Is it all of a sudden going to vanish, evaporate? The other thing, and this is a me problem, I care way too much about my own bod. And when I look at athletes, I feel like they should put the same effort into maintaining their bod that I put into mine. You're probably thinking to yourself, Paul, you're 5'11", 170 pounds. You are not impressive in the slightest. That is true. I have chicken legs and forearms that can fit into small grates. However, when I look at Diego Castillo, a guy who is a little heftier, I am made nervous by this passage from Ryan Divish's write-up in the Seattle Times about the trade. MLB sources said the Rays had also grown frustrated with Castillo's conditioning and off-season work habits. They think some significant weight gain over the past few seasons he's listed at 250 pounds have made him less effective and less reliable, believing he has trouble bouncing back after outings. Hefty athletes drive me crazy. Again, you have one job. Stay in shape, right? And I know I sound like Brock Hewitt and The Body Show and all that, but you know what? Brock Hewitt and I have, I think, similar tastes in terms of the athletes we like and the athletes that drive us a little bit nuts. So, look, I'm not asking for him to have a six-pack. I'm just hoping that he can find whatever his optimal weight was over the last couple of years and get back to it. And given what the Mariners seem to have been able to accomplish with the conversation that took place between Jerry Dipoto and Justin Dunn this offseason, Justin Dunn, when he was healthy, seemed like he improved himself by changing his diet and getting into better shape for the season. So maybe that's something that for Diego Castillo long-term can be worked on. Are they better for 2021 with Diego Castillo instead of Kendall Graveman, with Abraham Toro aboard? If we're going to weigh things from a scale perspective, Tyler Anderson is someone I'm looking at and I'm like, okay, you have a fifth starter, but I don't think he's providing a whole lot of weight if we're going to, use one of those old school scales to balance things out. So you put him on, it's not moving very much. Kendall Graveman, he's still weighing it down heavily. Then you put Abraham Toro on it. Okay. I like Toro's potential. And then you add Diego Castillo. I do think that you are slightly better for this year. But the clubhouse side of things is where I think it gets a little bit dicey and where people start to question whether or not the dynamic of what's inside the clubhouse right now and players that might be angry about Kendall Graveman being shipped off, is that going to affect their play the rest of the year? They got to get over it, but there is a human element to baseball, and I can't just entirely dismiss it. So if I'm answering that question that I throw to you, will Diego Castillo be better for the Mariners than Kendall Graveman? Going forward, yes. For the rest of this season, maybe. If one of those answers is yes, then I feel like you're headed in the right direction here.